Hello, this is Kalaba Chali again. I go by Chali. I'm the district superintendent for the Wichita East and the Wichita West. What a privilege for me as I meet our people. We are very diverse and in our theological thinking, but we're also diverse in just life experiences. And I've always said, as Wichita and the surrounding continues to grow, how can we use our diversity in theology, our diversity in cultures, in background, life experiences, to make more disciples of Jesus Christ? And so this is the next thing we want to talk about in this video. We want to invite you to listen in and maybe have some of your own reflection as well. So the first question we're going to talk about is going to be just to name one doctrinal element or one thing about the United Methodist connection, whether it's grace, whether it's mission or ARMCOR, our disaster response kind of we do all around the world, whatever that has really impacted you in some personal and unique ways. And then we'll share kind of our experiences. So I'm going to invite my friend here, Lacey, to kind of first just do a little short introduction and then talk about one thing that within the connection that has been impactful for you.
Yeah, I'm Lacey Wheeler, and I serve at Rose Hill United Methodist Church. And unequivocally, I mean, grace is the thing. And it's the thing that drew me to the Methodist Church, specifically our understanding of grace in our salvation journey. That has been so impactful for me. Growing up in a tradition that believed in salvation as this one moment that we are saying yes or no to heaven or hell, to this place of salvation is this wholeness that God seeks for us, and it's a continuing journey. And it's not only something that is saving us for something after this life, but it's something that is going to change us right here and now. And that has been so impactful to me, and the understanding of the grace that comes before our understanding, that we practice the sacrament of baptism and Holy Communion, and we believe that God's grace is in those places. And it's not about what we say or do, it's about the grace of God and what God is doing for us and toward us. So grace has just been, I feel like I had a limited understanding coming into the Methodist Church, and it has just deepened and expanded. And I continue to experience the changes in my life that happen because of the grace of God. And that's what brings change in my heart and in my spirit. And so I continue to be blown away at the understanding of salvation as this journey, that we are being perfected in that beautiful image of God's love. So that has drawn me to the Methodist Church, and it continues to be the thing that I most resonate with, I think, in our understanding. So.
Wow, yep. That's it. The grace is just powerful. So thank you about that reminder of grace, and we as UMC people are grace-filled people. And so I'm going to invite our friend Jo to kind of share a little bit of her own something impactful from the connection of United Methodist.
Sure, and I'm Jo Mead from University United Methodist Church here in Wichita. For me, it's twofold with ARMCOR as being this incredible organization that's able to do things all over the world, respond immediately, and then that means that missionally we have to do something here too.
Wow.
We can't just send money on. And I remember when Holly Tapley had done a disaster training for our church, that she talked about that when the time happens, if it happens in your community, you will not be expected to be a worker. Yeah. You are a victim of whatever it is that has happened. And so that to me has been powerful, that we are taking care of each other
Yes.
preparing
Yeah.
for being ready
Yeah.
for whatever that might look like. And that we know that UMCOR has been able to step into some pretty difficult situations both here in the States and elsewhere in the last few years. And how do we continue to foster that relationship of international compassion and care for all of our friends and neighbors that we have not yet met? And to me, that's just one of the pieces that is the beauty of the United Methodist Church, is how quickly we can respond in times of difficulty.
That's powerful. That's powerful. It reminds me of what Lacey was saying. Grace is this continuing of the work of the Spirit of God in us. And UMCOR becomes one of those pieces of how grace is being channeled to other people. And I'm reminded about the slogan that United Methodist Community on Relief, UMCOR, we are the first to arrive and we'll be the last to leave. So when all these organizations leave, UMCOR will still be there. And how powerful can that be? But thank you again for that reminder of how we take faith and grace and channel that into action in local community and all around the world. And so I'm going to invite Pastor G to kind of talk a little bit about one thing that is very impactful for you in the United Methodist Church.
Okay. So one thing that I'm so grateful in being a clergy in the United Methodist Church, because United Methodist Church strives for openness and inclusiveness, diversity and openness, inclusiveness, and especially appointments of those systems keep United Methodist Church, I believe, healthy and enables person of color like myself and also women to get their ordination.
Yeah.
And also be ordained and also exercise their leadership in the United Methodist Church. The reason I joined United Methodist Church, the reason I remain still in the United Methodist Church is because, it's a denomination, very open-minded denomination that ordains a person of color and also women to lead a church. But furthermore, it's a denomination that actually opened the door for me.
Yeah.
Person of color, immigrant minorities to serve as a pastor in the United Methodist Church, So I am the beneficiary of the United Methodist Church's openness and inclusiveness.
Yeah.
And more importantly, this is home, away from home.
Wow.
I started my ministry with the United Methodist Church. I am going to finish my ministry with the United Methodist Church.
Amen.
I can't stop, and I don't want to betray, so yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's a strong, bold conviction there.
Thank you.
Yeah. The comment you just made, I share that with you, that as people come from outside, finding a place to serve here, and I like your language, finding a home away from home. It definitely feels that way. And it also reminds me of, right now, I've used these words when I was at Junealaska for the orientation of district superintendents, and some friends from California and other places, they were trying to challenge me. I said, I dare you, right now in the United States, in all the annual conferences, the Great Plains Conference has the highest number of foreign-born pastors. They were trying to say, well, I said, we actually have more Korean pastors than you there. And this DS was a Korean, but US born. I say, I see Northeast, you probably have US born. I'm talking about Korean born in Korea.
Yeah.
And, international pastors who were born outside. The Great Plains has the highest, about 170 something. That's a So this is the openness you are reminding us about. So thank you. All right, so I'm going to invite Maria to kind of connect with whatever within the UMC connection that has been really the most impactful for you and something that you identify with. And so, please.
I am Maria Penrod, and I serve at Aldersgate. One part of our United Methodist heritage that's really compelling for me is the emphasis on both personal holiness and social holiness, because we have been transformed by God's grace and continue to be refined by that grace as we go on toward perfection. We also seek to transform our communities and the world around us to make it a place where everyone can experience abundant life. Everyone can flourish and create God's kingdom here on earth as it is in heaven.
Yeah.
So I think the partnership of those two things, of both personal holiness and social holiness, is really important, because if Jesus has changed you, that love, the overflow of that love should spread to your community in transforming where you live.
Wow, yeah. I mean, if really Jesus has transformed your life, it's so beautiful, that transformation. Why do you want to keep it for yourself? So as you think about that, I'd like to, take a couple of minutes to just reflect on that. I don't know, Steve, you want to get going on that question?
Well, my name is Steve Rankin, and I kind of wish I could just say ditto, right? Because the doctrine that has stood out to me for a while, and it's really fascinating to me, is the doctrine of Christian perfection. We all remember in our disciplinary questions, right? Do you expect to be made perfect in love in this lifetime? And so that's for a good 20 years or so, I've been exploring this doctrine and what it means experientially. So, Wesley talked about it lots of different ways. Having the mind of Christ and walking as Christ walked, holiness of heart and life, loving God with all your heart, loving your neighbor as yourself. These are all ways of talking about this doctrine. And particularly the way, once we kind of start to explore, understand, at least in some way, more fully perhaps, the work of God in our lives, like, as you were mentioning, Maria, there's a logical, natural, and very compelling kind of connection between loving God. I can't really say, as 1 John says, I can't say I love God and hate my brother or sister, right? I can't do that. It just doesn't work that way. So really exploring what it means and how to help people understand it. Because the word Christian perfection, of course, that's intimidating because people think flawless, and it doesn't mean that. And something you said earlier, Lacey, about the journey and continuing to grow, and several people have mentioned that. But that's definitely part of it. But if we as United Methodists could get our minds sort of really grasping what this doctrine means, Mr. Wesley did describe it as this is the reason God called Methodist into existence. And for us to kind of figure out what that means for us now, I think is really important.
Yeah, I was struck by that intimidating the word perfection, flawless, which is what people think about. But rightly so, back to Lacey's kind of being perfected in love. The grace continues to work within us. Wow, there's just some freedom into knowing that the work of God isn't done in this journey of perfection. Yeah, thank you. That's That's powerful.